Hello, this is Kittens traveling in Lanzarote. Following up my last video, cycling around Lanzarote, this will be my last Lanzarote travel video, and because I cycled so hard yesterday, I will be driving and walking mostly today, recovering my muscles. So the previous scene was Tegese Town Square. I took a quick picture and did some shopping. From Tegese, I'm heading up more north towards Aria, and now I'm passing by a small village called Punta Mujeres. And this is the famous Mirador del Rio drive, and I cycled this exact spot yesterday, and like I always feel, cycling gives me a much better experience than driving. Things that can be even slightly compared to cycling, at least for me, was driving a very fancy car with the top open or riding a motorbike. Anyways, this Mirador del Rio road is very narrow, so you have to be very careful about the oncoming traffic. This can be exceptionally difficult if you're from the countries that drive on the opposite side, which is the case for me because I'm from Ireland. And this clip is actually from the time when I'm leaving Mirador del Rio, so you can see the sea and cliff are on the opposite side. A truly fascinating view, but still I enjoyed my cycling here more than driving. So here's the car park of Mirador del Rio. Yesterday I couldn't enter the place because I was wearing all the cycling gear on me, so it's the first time for me actually going into the lookout point. Mirador del Rio, perhaps the most famous tourist spot in northern Lanzarote, was designed and built by César Manrique, an artist as well as an architect who really loved and cherished Lanzarote. He designed not only this Mirador del Rio, but also Jameos del Agua, Jardín de Cactus, and Manrique Foundation. All these famous Lanzarote tour spots were built by him, and I will be visiting most of them today. At the cafe inside, you can drink this lovely coffee with the fantastic view. And also on the outside, you have this balcony where you can soak up panoramic scenery of northern Lanzarote. I've been to plenty of nice cliff cafes in Ireland, but definitely this cafe has the best view. The next place that I visited after Mirador del Rio is Jameos del Agua, and this is also a must-visit place if you're traveling Lanzarote. Out of curiosity, I searched what is Jameos, and it means hole in Lanzarote dialect. So literally it means a water hole, but usually people say it's a water garden. After you purchase ticket and enter, you come across this big cave-like place, and underneath you can see a restaurant. Most of the restaurants in Lanzarote are cheap, but that's not quite the story here. The price was almost similar to Ireland, costing about €30 including the wine, but the food was absolutely gorgeous. After the cave restaurant, you can walk through this watery passage, which I assume the lava flowed a long time ago. And on the other side of the passage, there are also places you can sit down, relax, chat, and drink coffee. And when you continue to go up the stairs, there is a small but pretty pool that has a very vivid blue color. When you actually see it, the water is very pristine and has somewhat magical feeling in it. And there you can further climb up the stairs to the observation deck. And from the deck, the whole Jameos del Agua looks like this. And again here I sat down and had a quick cup of coffee. Now I'm climbing up the area hill with my car. I visited this exact place yesterday with my bike. For me here is not as good as when I was on my bike, but still it has one of the best views in Lanzarote. The whole road is switchback like zigzag style. It's not just 180 degrees turns. Because of the rocks on the side of the road, many of the corners are blind corners, and the narrow width of the road and steep slope add difficulty to driving. So you should pay a good attention to your surroundings. Now I've arrived at my next destination, Jardín de Cactus, which is the cactus garden. And like Jameos del Agua, César Manrique also designed and built this place. The whole place has this castle-like feeling. The garden is surrounded by the oval-shaped wall, and inside you have various kinds of cactus on display. Some are even bigger than the well-grown trees. Frankly speaking, I enjoyed this place, but when I visited Las Palmas 3 years ago, I did a tour of the Cactus Park in Las Palmas, and the Cactus Park was much bigger than this cactus garden, because obviously that's a park and this is a garden, and there it had more variety and the size was much bigger. Anyway, this Jardín de Cactus is not bad and worth visiting. And finally, here's César Manrique Foundation. The César Manrique who designed most of Lanzarote's tourist spots. Similar to Juge Samaragu's museum that I've visited on the first day in Lanzarote, César Manrique Foundation is also a house/museum. That means César Manrique had actually lived here. He is the person who really cherished Lanzarote island, which is barren and just full of volcanic soils. The volcanic soil in Lanzarote can be fascinating and exotic to look at, but the problem is, on that soil, it is so hard to grow crops. But even on this arid land, like growing grapevines and making them into Lanzarote's signature wines, people found their way. The museum also displays a lot of César Manrique's documentaries. And in fact, César Manrique was not just an artist or an architect, but he was also an environmental activist who put so much effort in protecting the nature of Lanzarote. In these documentaries, César Manrique criticized the big international conglomerates who come to Lanzarote and develop Lanzarote's coastline without any respect to its traditions or harmony. It was a quite good catch and something to think about because similar thing is happening in South Korea too. My last visit of today's tour is a somewhat interesting place, which is El Grifo, El Museo de Vino, the Museum of Wine. You can see here there are some very old wine making machineries on display, and you can tour the place after you buy the ticket. And it's not just a museum, but they also have a nice wine bar outside where you can relax and sip a couple of nice Lanzarote wine with Lanzarote cheese and some other small snacks. Also at the counter, they sell El Grifo wines at a very cheap price. So I bought one semi-dulce, semi-sweet white wine as a souvenir and later for my sushi party. Now that's practically the sum up of my Lanzarote travel. For tomorrow's schedule, because I'm returning to my home in Dublin, I will be just doing a quick drive and some easygoing shopping. As a finish, I visited this small tapas bar in La Santa, and the seafood here was absolutely gorgeous. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.